You know, the CM Punk drama, the all out scrum, and the backstage fights, and so many of these things that have happened with CM Punk's name all over them. I've just kind of passed off as, well, that's the wrestling media overinflating and overhyping things for views, and I mean that's the job of most media organizations in this capitalist hellscape. They got to make money too, so of course they're going to blow things out of proportion, and the wrestling business is definitely no different. But after this latest round of drama that I've been reading about and hearing about, I'm starting to wonder if maybe AEW would be better off without CM Punk. Maybe AEW could do without a lot of this drama happening backstage because, morale is important. If you don't think morale is important, read about WCW a bit. Read the book, The Death of WCW. Just do any kind of reading about WCW and its final stages of existence if you think morale in a wrestling locker room is just not important. Now, Ryan Nemeth is not really a name that comes to mind when you think about like big main event talents. I almost forgot that he was still in AEW, at least until this latest round of CM Punk drama happened. Ryan Nemeth tweeted something out that CM Punk did not like, and CM Punk confronted him about it in a very, it was said that it was tense, kind of embarrassing. Even after it was all said and done, there was still a lot of tension. They shook hands, but still. There are places where you can talk with people, especially if it's over something like a tweet, okay? A fucking tweet. There are places on this earth outside of the locker room where you can arrange to talk with somebody about things like this. No matter how justified you or CM Punk may think he was, why do it in the locker room? Why do it right there where people are watching, where you're getting like really, really angry and tense, and like that's not good for everybody else around, And then I hear about Christopher Daniels and how Christopher Daniels isn't allowed in the locker room because Ace Steel isn't allowed. Oh no, Ace Steel, hurls a chair at somebody during a fight and he's not allowed in the locker room. He's lucky to even have a job. The only reason he has a job is because of CM Punk, because CM Punk said, I'm not coming back if Ace Steel ain't coming back. And Christopher Daniels has to get the same treatment just out of fairness. That's not fairness. Ryan Nemeth, Christopher Daniels, two people who you rarely hear anything bad about. You never hear anything bad about Christopher Daniels. These two are generally well respected in the wrestling world. So for CM Punk to have a problem with both of them to the point where it's affecting morale, that says something. And Adam Page, too. Adam Page is another one. It really says something that he's got all these people on his bad side, or that he puts these people on his bad side because of things that are just... I know CM Punk takes his wrestling very, very seriously, and that is what makes good performers. I understand that. But is it really worth these little slights that you go through that could be handled, absolutely could be handled somewhere else? And of course, then there was a promo he cut on Adam Page after the show. And you know what's even worse about that promo that he cut? Adam Page wasn't even allowed in the building. You remember some, like, last year where he cut that promo on Hangman Page when he wasn't even in the building and said, come out here. Yeah, that's coward shit. That's not cowboy shit. It's like, he wasn't in the building. And here at Collision after the show, when he was rambling about how he doesn't sell merchandise like Punk and he's not as good as Punk and all that stuff, he wasn't even allowed in the building to defend himself, much less, So there's a lot of shit, and it just, you gotta think that it eats into morale, and you gotta know that there are a lot of people back there who are looking at Tony Khan and wondering, what are you doing? This is all out all over again. You just stood there, or you just sat there with this dumb look on your face for like 30 minutes while CM Punk embarrassed the shit out of AEW as a professional wrestling organization and as a business, embarrassed them. And it's like, it's happening all over again. you know? I don't know if Punk has the keys to the kingdom on Collision, but apparently he does, because people are not allowed there, all because they're associated with the elite, or because he thinks they're going to start drama in the locker room, which is a hell of a thing for CM Punk to say. And when you start banning people from a building, you know, beyond the fact that there's this informal brand split happening, when it's because of one wrestler and one wrestler's inability to get along with them or to just make something work for the sake of business, which is what Punk is always fucking talking about, business. When he's not talking about wrestling, of course, it's business. It doesn't sit well with me, and it shouldn't sit well with a lot of fans who are concerned with wrestler morale. You want to start seeing other wrestlers show up on AEW. You want a locker room that is largely free of drama, because who wants to go from one source of drama to another? Who wants to go from a smaller company and make more money just to have to get mired in a lot of drama when they can make even more money in a company that is really not in the headlines lately for a lot of the drama? WWE, you know, it is what it is, but you're not hearing a lot about people backstage throwing chairs around and getting into arguments, very loud arguments over tweets. And it always seems to be people who are generally respected that CM Punk is rubbing up against and rubbing the wrong way. So at this point, I'm asking myself, and everybody else, really, is CM Punk even worth this shit anymore? And should the next big explosion that embarrasses the company with Punk involved, should it be his last? I think it should. I think, you know, CM Punk as a wrestler, he still has a lot of value, but at this point it's really name recognition, because CM Punk gets hurt a lot. CM Punk is kind of a liability when it comes to, like, I honestly, whenever he wrestles, I wonder what's going to be the next thing to fall off. You know, there was the ankle, and then there was the tricep, or whatever the hell it was, and the fact that, you know, he is at the age that he is and has had all these injuries. I'm thinking more about his body than, you know, can he still go? You know, it's just, it does not. I just don't think he's worth it anymore. I really don't, and I don't think he's worth defending anymore. If he can put on good matches, and if he can create great moments within the company, and if he can contribute in a positive manner, absolutely he's worth it. But if we're just going to keep having all this drama, if Tony Khan is just going to kind of sit there with his thumb up his ass and kind of act like a mark for CM Punk, which is something that I've denied for the longest time, but I mean lately, Jesus Christ, Tony, I don't know. But what I do know 100% is that if CM Punk were to leave AEW tomorrow and go somewhere else, wherever it would be, I wouldn't be sad. I would be sad for what could have been. Absolutely. I would be sad for what could have been, but for what's happening and what has happened, nah, not worth it. Just not worth it at all. Because, again, morale is everything.